see you space cowboys so fly at the moon. Give me room so fresh to death. I'ma need a tomb. Trying to collect bags from the bounty. Keep saluting me. Big shot gives a lot of info, confusing me.
Welcome back. Christopher Bearden's TTQs, theories, thoughts, and questions. And today we are exploring Hajime no Ippo Round 11, Obsession for Victory. So the episode starts with Ippo Makanouchi and his opponent, Oda Yusuke, or Yusuke Oda. And they enter the ring, and we hear the fans cheering him on. Yusuke Oda, he gets some cheers, and but he's had 5 fights. When they introduce Ippo, he gets a couple cheers too, which is, I'm sure, pretty neat for Ippo. You know, this is his first fight, and he's like, I got a couple pretty cool fans. And so in the stands, I thought what was very interesting is how they drew, I guess, the extras of the characters watching the boxing match. Not all of them are like paying attention, totally focused. One, this is the first match of the evening. So, you know, the stands aren't completely packed yet. And, but one of the details that I loved is some people in the audience are looking down. There's some women in the audience that might be looking this way. Maybe there's a guy in the audience leaning to the side, you know, maybe sleep or something. So I love that, you know, they didn't just take the time to just draw them like sitting there straight, paying attention. It's like there's life in the stands. And so when they introduce Ippo is so caught up and trying. He's like, I prepared. I shouldn't be nervous. Let's calm down. He's in his head, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? He's locked in. He's getting his mind ready. And Chief has to slap him on his back and wake him up and say, acknowledge the people, dog. They introduced you. And knowing him, he does it the Ippo way. He goes out there and bows to all 4 sides of the ring, or to the audience, the arena, Korakuen Hall. And somebody in the audience even goes, man, stop with that polite stuff, newbie. Let's get to it. But clearly everybody already sees Ippo. He's just different. And so they get ready to start the match, and my man Takamura is trying to up his support level. So he roots Ippo on and basically says, you got a heavyweight dong. And that the man with the biggest dong usually wins. So you be good, Ippo. And everybody hears it. And Ippo's like, ah! And even his corner, Chief and Mr. Yagi, and then there's another trainer there. I'm not sure what his name is. But all 3 of them are like, I can't believe Takamura just did this. But it seems like Takamura always has another play, because it releases tension. You know, maybe Ippo is a Chief even mentions it. You know, Ippo's a little bit more calm to start the match. So, round 1. And Oda comes out. Bing, 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 bing. Swinging on the attack. Ready to fight, which I love. And I didn't mention this. During the introductions, we see that Miyata is there watching. He up in the stands. You know, he not sitting down. He's standing up with the shades on. All right, let me see my competition. And so, like I said, Oda starts out very aggressive. But interestingly enough, Ippo sparred against Miyata. I mean, Miyata's fast as lightning. So after a few punches, you know, Ippo starts reading Oda's punches, and his defense is on game. Dodging, moving. Oda hits him with a strong right, and Ippo has his guard up. And it kind of pushes him back a little bit. But then Ippo hits Oda with a right. And Oda feels the difference. I'm sure everybody saw the difference. My man Oda went up against the ropes and was like, God, what? But he kept his composure. And so they're both going back and forth. But Takamura even points out they've exchanged the same amount of blows. But more damage is being done to Oda because Ippo has just such destructive power, which we learn a lot of it comes from his legs. and working at the fishing boat rental. And then, of course, he's so mentally locked in. He's always running squats, doing whatever he has to do. So round one ends. Both fighters go to their corner. Now, both coaches don't really give a technical strategy to start round two. They both know it's going to be a brawl. We got some hitters in the house. So you got to have more grit. Chief says you got to have more vigor. You got to go in there with double the vigor. You know what I'm saying? Double V. W. You feel me? Go in there. Nice. Double V, W, N. You feel me? But yeah. So both fighters are feeling ready. Going in. Oda's coach notices the difference in power as well, but he's still behind his man. He's happy that Oda's in the right mind frame, the right mindset, that he's mentally locked in and wants to stay in the fight. So round two starts. Boom, boom, boom. They fighting. My man Ippo cracks him and knocks him to the floor. Hits him with a body blow. He saw all those punches. My man got his jab in. Wow. Then connected. And my man, good. Knocks Oda to the floor. To the floor. Now, I'm thinking this is the first time he's probably been knocked out or knocked down like this. They mentioned in the past episode, the past round, that he lost the fight on like boxing points. So I'm thinking he's used to being the power giver. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving the force. And Ippo was like, nah, I'm giving the force. So Oda's on the ground. And they think he's going to be out. But he pulls himself together. He gets that indomitable will. And he starts talking to himself. And he's like, is this what we trained for? All the running, all the training? For me to stop now? For me to quit now? Get up. Get up. He gets to his feet. I'm sure his coach saw another side to Oda too. Coach is like, Mikami's like, oh, that's my dog. Get up, my G. But also, Mikami says to himself, hey, this ain't looking too hot. Ippo's locked in. He's in great shape. His weapon is a lot more damaging than Oda's right hand. And that's just the way the cards are. Now, right when they get ready to go back in to fight after Oda's gotten up, Ippo goes in for a right, but he slips. And Oda throws a right, and instead of catching Ippo square on the head, it cuts him above the eye. And then we go to our boys in the stands, Aoki, Kimura, and Takamura. And basically they mention how that cut opens above his eye. If they can't close it, the fight goes to Oda. Oda gets the win on a technicality. And I think that's just sports in general. When I played basketball in high school, or even in travel ball or any game, if one of the players starts bleeding, they can't keep playing. You have to take them out and stop the bleeding. And if the bleeding resumes, you have to take them out again. And if they can't stop the bleeding, then you don't come back in the game. And so this is a big deal. And so the boxing doctor comes in, takes a look, and says, it's all good. It hasn't gotten to the fascia. I have to look that up. But basically, it hasn't gotten too bad. But if it gets exacerbated, a little vocab, then we'll have to stop the match if it opens back up. And so he goes, okay, relief. So they get ready to start the match up. Ding! Round two ends. So then Chief says, go get the clotting power, go get the towel, let me do my thing, let me do my voodoo, voodoo, wooji. So he does it, and he puts his little Qui-Gon Jinn on it, you feel me? His little, these aren't the droids you're looking for on it, you know what I'm saying? This is the cut you want to stay closed. And it's closed. And we go over to Mikami's corner, Oda's, and he's telling him, look, we got a cut above his eye. It's unfortunate, but this is an opportunity that you created by getting back up. This happened after you got back up. You got back up and you were presented an opportunity. Now, we don't like that this happened. We want to fight the fighter and win by defeating the fighter. but this is our chance. So go in and open that cut up. Basically, go in there and just, let's make it happen. Bing! Round 3. So Oda's in, he jumps in. He's like, he's trying to open that cut up. He's trying to get to that cut. Where the cuts? Where the cuts? And Ippo was doing his best to block, doing his best, but he can't really get an opening. And he can't throw his jab, because if he throws his jab, he has to drop his guard where the cut is, and that leaves him open. And if Oda opens it up, that's going to be the end of the match. And they even show the ref. Like, they have the ref sitting there and the ref looking at it like, come on. Let me see what happens. So Ippo's losing ground, and he's trying to figure out what he needs to do. And he doesn't know. And so, as a desperate attempt, was it a last-ditch effort? He switches his stance to southpaw. So now he has the cut covered. He has his right as his jab. Now he can't use his cannon because he had to switch positions, but at least he's in a survival state. And so even then, my man's still swinging. Bop, bop, bop. And Ippo tries to throw some jabs, but they're so soft. It's so awkward. And Oda picks up on this. He's like, Ippo looks surprised by his own punches. I'm going in. So he goes in even harder. What? And Ippo's keeping up his guard. And, maybe this was before he switched to southpaw. So I'm getting some stuff mixed up. But also in this round, Oda's smart. He goes up, clinches Ippo, and then whop, hits him in that cut. So that's what initially opened the cut up to begin the third round. They go to fight. My man comes in close. Oda, he clinches Ippo, and while he has him clinched, she just, And even though Ippo had his guard up, his cut's open. So then that's when things start to get desperate. That's when he pushes Ippo back. Then that's when Ippo switches guard to southpaw. Now Ippo's losing a lot of ground. And he's not frantic, but he's thinking, if I don't do something, the ref is either going to stop the fight or he's going to crack me, because I'm not in a position to actually even give him my weapon. I'm having a steady baby this side, and then I can't really throw my right. But then he starts thinking, why can't I throw my jabs? And he's thinking, jabs. He thinks back to when he has to catch the leaves with Takamura. And Takamura says, hey, kid, your jab's pretty good. So he's like, he had to go back to the leaves. Now, while he's thinking this, he drops his guard a little bit and gets cracked by Oda, and it opens up the cut even more. Blood hits the floor. So then the ref goes, you can see him in slow motion. He's getting ready to go stop the fight, and Ippo just wakes up, and he's like, and Oda sees that he opened up the cut, so Oda's getting ready to just take him out with his right. KO! And nope. Ippo cracks him with a right jab, like he's going for them leaves. My man Oda backs up. My man Ippo just starts hitting him with a barrage of rights and just starts digging into the right. Bow, bow, bow. Then right, he hits him one more time. Bam! He's getting ready to throw that left. Chief is like, throw the left, kid, throw the left. As he's getting ready to throw the left, the ref stops the fight and gets in front of the fighters. Gets in between them. As he gets in between him, my man Oda falls from that last jab he took from Ippo, and he's out. And Ippo won by like Miyata and Mikami say he won by a breath, a hair of a breath, a breath hair. Hair of a breath. He barely won. He got by the skin of his chinny chin. I'm getting all the sayings wrong, but he got the victory. And whoo, victories come hard earned. That was close, but the crowd's going crazy. Everybody loves it. Ippo has fans. Oh, Ippo, yeah! And that's one thing I like about this show, that I continue to like about this show, is that they don't hide away from the disappointment of the ones that are defeated. And they don't try to make it seem like, oh, that you should still feel good about. It's like, I lost. I put everything in it and I lost. And they allow the fighters or the characters to have that time where it's like, there's no moral victories in this moment. I took the L. And so Oda's walking out of the ring, and Ippo basically goes up to him and he's like, hey, thank you. Thank you for the fight. I appreciate it, basically. Showing him respect. And Oda doesn't even turn around. Oda just walks out. And Ippo, Mr. Yagi, your chief, wraps Ippo's head up to get the cut. So cover the cut up. And so Ippo walked out the ring. He's bowing to everybody, thanking you. And Ippo won in the third round. Let's see, I got the official. Ippo Makinuchi wins round 3, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Now, I think the rounds are 3 minutes. So that might have been getting close to the end of, unless it was counting down backwards. Because it could have been counting from 3 minutes to 0, not 0 to 3 minutes. But I think it goes from 3 minutes to 0. So maybe that was earlier in the third round. But wow. Wowzers. So we go to the locker room. And we meet up in the locker room with the Nishikawa boxing gym. And Coach Mikami and Yusuke Oda are walking in the locker room, and Oda he initially looks like he's so pissed off and disappointed, but then we hear that his perspective has changed. He says that Ippo took the words out of his mouth. He should have been thanking Ippo because he was so conceited and arrogant and cocky and didn't realize that if he just put his all into boxing, that it could be this exciting, that it could be this invigorating, that it could touch him this deeply and transform him. And basically, he's humbled, realizing his hubris. And he's like, I can't believe I was even that person. So Reiko walks up to him and it's like, dang, you already know. She already said I'm gonna break up with you. And he's like, dang, you saw me catch that L. And she's basically like, that's the best you've ever looked. Basically, I believe in you. Keep boxing. And he's like, how am I going to keep boxing? You know what I'm saying? This was the last. I lost the boxing. The gym ain't going to give me no more fights. And Mikami turns around and he's like, Oda, stop all that fooling around. You got to go home and get some rest for training tomorrow. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, we got more fights. Ippo, he barely won. His guard was weak. We know how to get him next time. And my man Oda's like overwhelmed. And yeah, he's gotten a second chance. And I was mentioned an episode ago about wasted opportunities. But he managed to take full advantage. He managed to turn it all around and revive his career. Now hopefully he can continue this. But he was literally on the verge of not boxing anymore. And now there's new light. Just from staying in the fight. You know what I'm saying? You think it's over. Was it the VH1? You think you know. You think you know me, but you have no idea. This is the life of Oda Yusuke. So yes, Oda. Keep going, man. Got another opportunity, got another chance. His love staying around, you know what I'm saying? His coach believes in him. That's where you want to be. Win or lose, knockout or no knockout. You want to be believing in yourself, and the ones that love you believe in you too. So then we go over to outside of Korakuen Hall, and now we're with our homies at Kamigawa Boxing Gym, KBG. So they're all outside, and Chief isn't even facing Ippo, and Chief just goes and walks away. And Ippo's like, is Coach upset? And Mr. Yagi's like, no, Coach is mad happy. He just don't like to show it. You feel me? He trying to keep a hard face because he's so giddy. But he showed it with this. And my man flashed out the money. And Kimura and Aoki were like, oh, see, that's why we come to these matches so we can turn up afterward. I'm like, damn. So Takamura goes, well, you know where we going. And they show up at Sugar Ray's. I'm guessing Sugar Ray Leonard got some, got a restaurant up in Japan or something. You feel me? So that's smooth. They go in, and the women there recognize them. And they got women there to, I guess, party with. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of place this is. But they go in there to have a celebratory drink, as Mr. Yagi says. They don't get to drink as boxers, but they get to have a taste of celebration. They get to have a beer together. So they go in there, and like I said, the women in there already recognize the other boxers in the gym as regulars. They just don't know who this new one is, Ippo. And Mr. Miyagi goes, basically, he's the reason why we're here. He won his debut match. So all the women are talking to Ippo, trying to get to know him, saying how cute he is, and because he's so innocent, and you don't even look like a boxer. And Aoki and Kimura mentioned how it was actually amazing to see Oda be so in shape, be so ready to fight, and get the heck back up. Like they were geeked that it was a good match. They were surprised that Yusuke Oda came out and changed their minds about him. You know, I mean, how many times did somebody say, I thought he was a bum? Ippo, this is the guy you're talking about? He seems like such a different guy. So that's like a victory. You know, Oda might not know that they're talking about this, but that's what comes of giving your best. There's ripples effects that you probably won't even experience. You know, and not that it even matters if they think he works hard now or if they think he's not a chump now. Who cares? But just to show the effect of getting them back up and working your butt off to be prepared, because they saw he wasn't no tired third round. He was coming out gunning, steel. The only reason he stopped was because he was stopped. And to also mention in the fight, when he gets up in the third round after he said his legs were shaking because he got knocked down, he mentioned how he would usually be done by this time of the fight, but that he's different. He's not himself anymore. The one thing I liked about that, it didn't show that he wasn't tired. It didn't show that all his training made him fresh for the third round. He was still just as exhausted. You can tell by his legs shaking, his body shaking, it was his mind, self-belief that made him go, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna go kill it. I'm gonna go get this W. I'm gonna go try to take Ippo out. As opposed to in previous boxing matches where he was probably thinking, I'm exhausted. How do I get my breath back? My legs hurt. How do I find some rest? You know, it's because, and I only break this down and put this to the side and mention this with emphasis because I get caught up in there being improvement by me feeling better or there being less pain. But the me getting better isn't that there's less pain. It's that I know how to move through it. I know how to work through it. I know how to push through it. You know, I can go even harder when I feel this pain or when I feel this discomfort or boredom. So that was an interesting detail that I picked up on. And maybe it's not even something to be picked up on, but just that it wasn't necessarily that his conditioning made him not tired or that the punches didn't affect him, but it was, and by the way, if he wasn't in shape, that punch probably would have just took him out immediately. So, you know, cheers to Yusuke Oda, you know, knowing during the match that the gift that was given wasn't that you feel fresh, but that you can keep going, and mentally you don't cap yourself. You don't top yourself up mentally. You go, no, open up the floodgates, open up the skylight. We going up. So super dope. Now, we're still at Sugar Ray's. I just talked about that, about how Aoki and Kimura were kind of in awe of the transformation of Yusuke Oda. But while Ippo's getting all this attention, man, Takamura is in the back hating. He hating because the women ain't around him. They don't care. He didn't have a fight. So they're saying how adorable he is, and Takamura overhears, and he's like, what, adorable? He ain't adorable. I bet you ain't gonna say he adorable when you see his thing. His thing longer than his thing longer than the thing. You want to see? My man pulls down Ippo's pants in front of everybody, and everybody's like, oh! And the wild elephant sound is made again. You hear, which I think is hilarious. Ippo's over there like, oh, oh. And everybody's shocked. The women are shocked and impressed. But yes, that was round 11. Ippo won his debut match. Yusuke Oda lost on the scoring card, but he won in life, because that is the mindset you need outside of boxing. That's the mindset you need with all tasks, all goals that are in front of us. The mindset that we're going to keep going, we're going to push ourselves and prepare, and it's not about feeling fresh or not feeling tired or not feeling uncomfortable or pain, but it's about pushing. You know what I'm saying? Building that foundation, that's our self-belief, by doing something that's tough and coming through. So sick. Ugh. And of course, Ippo with the debut match. So great episode all around. Let's see. Oh, I'm guessing usually Chief treats them to some dollar bills after a win, since Aoki and Kimura said this is why they come to the matches, because if they win, they know there's gonna be a celebration afterwards. So we know that's the usual thing. You know, Takamura be getting them W's. So, and I ain't gonna say Aoki and Kimura haven't. I don't know what their record is. I don't think they've lost every match, but I don't think they've won every match. So, but yeah, they've been there before, Sugar Ray's. That's their regular spot. What else? Oh, something I love too. Showing some more metamorphosis. During the introductions in the first round, when they're introducing Ippo and they're introducing Oda, Yusuke Oda's giving Ippo stare down. Like, well, your friends call me clown, so I'm about to show you. And Ippo staring back. You know what I'm saying? Ippo having some, it was a Kimura even said, Ippo having some backbone. Again, I mean, like what, six plus months ago, Ippo was run down by Umezawa and his goons and beat to a pulp. And all he could do was let them talk smack about his mom and say how they both whack and how he's whack and they stink. And he is staring back at a professional boxer with 5 fights that he's about to go toe-to-toe with. Ippo's made some transformations, man. Hey, you getting there? You damn near a butterfly, dog. You damn nigga butterfly. So that was round 11. Woohoo! Obsession for victory. Life lessons. A lot of the life lessons. What I take from this episode, I think I'll get a lot from Yusuke Oda. Reputations in the trash, tarnished. Love gone. Love says they don't believe in you. Nobody believes in you. You don't believe in you. Chilling during workouts, looking for the comfortable. Looking for the comfortable. And had to go a tough transformation. Had to hear the hard truth from Reiko. Had to hear the hard truth from Akami. And had to endure the pain, the suffering, doing what he doesn't want to do. The stuff he was literally avoiding, he's now running to. Sprinting to. Let's do this. Let's do this now. Let's do this some more. Let's keep going. It's impressive. And it shows what the mind can do. You know what I'm saying? The mind can do. His body didn't change much. He didn't have new shoes. He didn't get the new surgery. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have this promise of you're going to be a champion and we're going to have all this money. It's like, you can do more. You can be more because it's within you. I know you're not doing your best. You know, and this is maybe Oda to himself now. I know I'm not doing my best. Stop living in fear. He was living in fear. Ego, fear of trying and failing, fear of seeming like a loser or a coward, people thinking he doesn't have it. You know, it's tough to put it all out on the line because you are tired and you look weak and you look weaker than maybe you were when you were fresh. But that doesn't mean your mind is weak. That doesn't mean you can be defeated easily. That doesn't mean you're prey. But you can get caught up in what it looks like. And I think Oda was getting caught up in what it looks like. He was the KO king for them first 3. You know, he had 3. He thought it was going to go forever. But like he said when he had his perspective changed, humble. Just humble myself and do the best I can. And I'm going to get so much more out of this. I mean, I'm sure he felt higher self-esteem-wise after this loss than he ever has after a win. Because it sounds like for this fight, he put the most into it. So that just reminds me, which I've realized my purpose in life, which is to get up and move through pain, uncomfortable, or is it pain, boredom, or self-doubt, to push through those and to keep pushing. in all and everything that I do. That's why I get up in the morning, because I know I'm gonna get the most out of it. I know I'm gonna feel the best about myself. I know I'm gonna have the healthy, positive self-talking attitude that's gonna keep me moving forward. That's gonna keep me from being distracted by the negative, or by those that are comparing and contrasting, or that those that might want my attention for any other reason. You know? So yeah, Oda. Oda, he didn't win, but he won. You feel me? He won. For him personally, he won. Because now any obstacle that comes, any tragedy that will come, because we all have tragedy that either has happened, we're in it, or it's on the way. And most of the time, the joke of life is all three of those are the truth at all times. And Oda did it with help. With help from Mr. Kami. With help from Reiko. So yeah. Having your loved ones, leaning on those you love and love you, the ones you can count on, and pushing through pain, through boredom, and through self-doubt. Go Oda. This is Ippo's episode, and he won the debut match, but I have to, oh man, go Yusuke Oda. So yeah, that's the life lesson. Keep on keeping on. Don't worry about what it looked like. Keep going. So, round 12, coming, putting in the work. I also posted my adrenaline shots for the soul, my second one. Last Monday was a struggle. This Monday is the negotiator. Take a look, it's in the posts. And start the week off strong. If you already feel like you didn't start the week off strong, then guess what? Who cares about that? Start strong now. Start strong now. Whatever you're doing, keep going. Push a little bit more. Lock into whatever you're doing and push a little bit more. Go hard. Be tired. It's okay to be tired. Guess what? If you're tired and you keep going and do this to the best of your ability, you're going to get that much more out of it. So keep going. You right, midnight. Keep going, girl. Tell them. Keep going. All right. Have a good one, y'all.
Sick on me. 24/7 the way. When the ocean breeze in the mist hit your face, your thought change. Seeing the sea roll up to me is still amazing. It's like she's calling me to come forth, please take me. The wave is so relentless, like my whale Bruce Wayne.